Hello everyone and welcome to the 2025 Khmer Cup taking place in Siam, Cambodia. Super excited to be here for the final round of competition, and of course we've got a great lead card. Scott Stokely all knotted up with Tomi Lehtonen. We've seen him the last few weekends. Of course, that's Japi. And rounding out our card, Evan Boucher. He's also a constant whenever I'm here giving you coverage in Southeast Asia. This is all of round 3. It's taking place on Sunday afternoon. And this is my first time at the course, so I'm seeing it completely blind as we're kicking off this final round. We start out on a par 4, and Stokely launching it out there. During round number 2, he carded what is known as the only eagle ever on this hole.
Thank you.
Tomi, nice big pull out into the fairway. A little bit tough when you're starting out on this hole to know exactly where you need to be throwing to.
Wow, good throw, Evan. That's great. That's great. That's great.
And everybody loves it. Everybody loves that one by Evan. You see Stokely off on the left side. And one of the features of this course, and it's entirely of Cambodian disc golf, is the involvement with the kids. There are dozens of them running around, so excited and anxious to watch and participate in the disc golf scene out here. It's absolutely incredible. In fact, there's one or two kids-only tournaments that take place here in Cambodia, held here on the property. So those happen every single year, and it's been awesome to see. Jacob is our fearless tournament director.
You see it? Oh, they see it. Oh,
A little bit of help here. Stokely up in the tree.
Wow, hero.
You know a disc is way up there when Stokely, along with his arms, still can't reach it? There is no 2-meter penalty, so he'll just throw from here. This is his third, so this is for birdie. You can just barely see the basket there.
Looks like a layup.
Yappy's going to open with a birdie. Really, as you can see, just feels like a 2-man race. Something really major would have to happen, but it's disc golf and anything can happen. We see both Japi and Evan starting out with birdies along with Tomi, and Tomi will take the lead. Between Tomi and Scott, I think we're somewhere around like 15 feet total height. Maybe I'm rounding. I don't know if that converts with meters. I'm not sure. Pretty basic forehand action here. 267 feet.
You got a wow. You got a wow. Yeah.
Generous gallery. Well, that was a good shot, but we're definitely excited about the throws. See what Scott can do. He's going with the overhand. And it's right, but then rolls toward the pin. Our event brought to us by 7 Deadly Bananas, company from Danny Diaz. And Danny, of course, really instrumental in getting some disc golf design and promotion going here in this entire region. He's out there in the field. I believe he's on the chase card.
Yep, nice bird. Thank you.
see some manufactured elevation out here. Not too much to work with naturally. There's some undulation and some various, we'll say, ditches and hills and mounds and stuff. I feel like those all come into play and they're utilized. However, there's also just the chance to raise the basket as well, and that's done in a few places. Tomi going forehand. Still has the one-stroke lead. To the basket straight ahead. Very, very camouflaged. So you had it in frame on both of those throws. Just maybe didn't necessarily see it. And Stokely says it's short. You can hear the wind picking up a little. There's some overall ruggedness that you're competing with out on this course. We have natural tees. I know those are being worked on, but we have natural tees. And then if you're off the fairway in a number of these spots, it can be brutal. You'll see that on some of the more congested holes and fairways that will be coming up.
Nice.
What?
You did everything you could.
Oops.
Let's look at that again.
Nice.
Oh, it just barely falls out. Heartbreaker. It looks so good.
Maybe can get pretty nice slow motion
Right? Yeah.
from that.
Yeah, we ran it back for you, Tomi. I don't know if I had quite the slow motion you needed, but ran it back a little bit for you, and not pretty. That is brutal. Feels like Scott got robbed of one there. Again, about 100 meters, just shy of it this time. See the basket up through that gap, which I'm going to kind of zoom in for you. Like we've seen on some previous courses here in Southeast Asia, no shortage of wildlife.
Nah.
And that gets hung up.
Oh, that didn't help me. Find a window, magic.
There it
Oh,
is.
it did.
There it is.
Oh, and it does. You just got to ask for it. Maybe that's, I think some would call that karma. Maybe there's little luck, of course, giving it back to him after the unfortunate spit on the previous hole. Gallery loves it. And if somehow this is your first time seeing Evan on my channel and on my coverage, I think it's pretty obvious his background has been in Ultimate for quite a few years. And Scott doesn't give that one a chance. What, Tomi? That was for par on the comebacker. Maybe overcompensating from Scott coming in low. Tomi is high, and that's going to be a bogey. Meanwhile, the park job by Japi. And I think we're going to be all knotted up on the top again. It's going to be a par for Scott. Bogey for Tomi will bring him back to 20 under. Evan will pick up the par. Not the spot you expected a bogey. Hello. Big thanks to Par on Disc Golf, along with all of the other that have helped out during my Southeast Asia swing here in 2025.
Nice
This
spot.
is a par 4. A very difficult one at that.
Thank you.
This is really just the setup shot that you're looking for. That's short and left and probably trouble. We've got a couple of spotters running after it. Thankful they're there, but a bad sign if you're the thrower. Watching a couple of kids sprint off to try and locate your disc. And you see that Tommy answers with a pretty solid tee shot of his own, and Scott is buried in here. And less than 30 feet of progress, but as everyone said, at least he's out. So he's going to go back to the overhand. Or more of a forehand, I guess. That doesn't sound clean either. There's a very small window or pocket in which they're trying to ultimately get to.
That's a great shot.
A very, very challenging par 4.
I was in a good position.
You need nearly 2 perfect shots to even think about having a good look for the birdie. And if you're saying, where's the drone footage? Why don't you know where things are going? Full disclosure, I spent the previous 30 hours lying in bed. Something did not sit right with me. And that had me all, I wasn't going anywhere. Just about 30 hours, and I took everything I could to get on my moped to make the trip out here just so I could get the final round. As Scott goes deep. That was his 4th. Yes. The only birdie on the weekend. Might be the first ever I'm hearing, but the only birdie for sure on the weekend.
That's the birdie.
Thank you.
Great drive, even better approach, and then hits from circle 2 to be able to get the birdie, and that's exactly what you need. What a huge pickup for Evan.
I'm thinking it might be me.
Might be.
And Scott is deep after the forehand approach. This is for bogey. He saw almost every inch of this particular hole. Short left side, punches out. Again, left side woods, goes deep. He's getting his own tour of Cambodia at this point. Speaking of tourism, 2 nights earlier on Friday night, I managed to go to the local non-animal circus in town, and 5 stars. 5 out of 5 stars. 10 out of 10 recommend, whatever you want to say. What a great time. I had no idea that Scott and Jacob and a number of golfers were also going to be there. I just kind of randomly picked it and went with it. I didn't get sick until a few hours later. I don't think I got sick from the circus, but yeah, I cannot recommend it enough. It was just incredible to go to. You go, you have your choice of a bunch of different places to eat right there at the circus. It's like a couple of different kind of restaurant food cart things that are all part of your entry. And it's, such an incredible show. Sorry, I'm detracting from this little tunnel shot that has put up a struggle for the first 3 throwers.
Can play with the skipper.
Thank you.
Scott is way short.
That's the juju.
Japi also way short.
Oi,
Come on. That was a nice run.
sorry Japi.
Ei mitään, jaksanut huolaa. Vittu, pian turpa.
Not a very good bid.
It's gonna be a while, Tommy. Just
It-
wait.
Japi for his par.
What happened there?
It looked for a second like it fell through, and instead he hit the chains, the wooden chains, the bamboo chains, and it just kicked it out. Clearly shocking.
Wow. That was wild.
I didn't see it.
No, I just
Well-
saw it kick out.
We're going to take another look. This one I will slow down.
His 6-foot putt went ding and bounced out.
Oh yeah. I've never seen this basket.
I didn't even see it.
These things actually catch pretty good.
Talk about a look of shock. Understandably. You would. Ugh. Little local admiration and music getting played for us as we're waiting to tee off here.
And now roll butter.
Also, Christian Fernando hanging out, coming out of the Philippines, an up-and-coming superstar. Spoiler alert, he'd go on to win the advanced division. Some instant musical acoustics to join. I love it. Heads to the drama. Oh, what a shot. We'll have to see if that's flirting with the water down here. You're going to see just how dangerous this is.
What? I can go.
And some of the kids in there trying to find some discs from earlier. So a very tiny green here. You can see why he was being tentative. You also hear the wind picking up. Oh, that one catches. Got a swimming hole right here on site. Got quite a few of them. I think we got some water buffaloes or some other animals out here hanging out. And what a drive by Japi. Look how close he is to the water, but has the easy tap in.
Hey man, you sure you can make that one? Damn, that's a sweet.
Tommy, 2-stroke lead.
Nice line, Tommy.
Yeah, nice throw.
Again, look at the basket somewhat blending in, even though it's right there in front of us. Water is deep and right of this pin. And that appears to be safe. Oh, and you see the splashdown right into the water for Stokely. It's going to be next to the pin, but out of bounds. Par at best coming up.
Trees, okay.
could have been worse, knowing that the water's right there. Nasty roll away nonetheless, but it could have rolled into the water. And then he makes the comebacker. Just a slight pause. And good putt. Scott's going to save par with that. Tomi with a chance to go up by 3. Tomi, who hails out of Finland, has been spending a ton of time in various countries in Asia. Pretty much setting up in Thailand over the last couple of years. Also joined me on commentary for the Chiang Mai Open or for the Samui Swine, one of those a couple of years ago.
The best way to learn disc golf, whether it's your throwing technique, mental game, or strategy. With Pulse 8, you'll see significant improvements in your game. Pulse 8 Disc Golf Academy. Learn from the best and forget the rest.
Link in the description for you to head on over to Pulse. Love what they're doing in terms of getting people some disc golf instruction, all on an app, super easy to navigate. Obviously some top-level pros and instruction in there. Lots of danger. That looks like it's safe, but not necessarily in a good spot. Scott down 3 with about half the course to play, and then throws a great shot there to set up for birdie. And not going the way Japi wants here. He seems to be all over the place. Somehow he has stayed inbounds during the first 2 throws, but now he's set up and looking at a bogey.
Go ahead. It's close. Sure. Go ahead. Yep. Nice start.
Stokely to 20. Tomi to maintain a 3-stroke lead. He'll do just that. Travel tip that I learned my first time ever in Cambodia. If you have US dollars, they accept them at many places. You'll see 2 different prices. There'll be a US dollar price, and there'll also be a Cambodian riel price. I think it's RIEL. That is their currency, but they will take US dollar. Seems to be just as widely accepted and welcomed. However, bring your crispiest dollars, as you see the pin straight out there. They love them nice and crispy. I think that's just to, wait a minute. Hold on, I gotta stop my thought here.
That was a little flatter. That was gone.
Yeah, unfortunately, I never saw it. Scott, I appreciate the effort. The forehand 360 between the sky and then the craziness of flight. At no point did I see that. Anyway, bring your crispiest US dollars. They want to make sure that they're legit. Bring 100 $1 bills, and you'll probably be good for a weekend.
Yeah, hey, that's a great angle. That's so good. Nice shot.
Look in the bushes? No?
Very reasonable prices when you're in Cambodia for pretty much everything. Similarly to what you find over in your travels to Thailand, for instance. I know we're about halfway through. I'm dragging. I am absolutely dead to the world. I have no concentration in me. It is very warm out there, of course, and humid. I am done everything to not be dehydrated over the last 30 hours or so. And no matter what I did, that wasn't helping. So I apologize. Things get a little bit loosey-goosey here. I'm glad I was able just to maintain. I believe I had a helper with an umbrella, someone carrying a water bottle around with me to help out, but it was no place to have any kind of sickness to be out there. We've got a great battle brewing here. This is one of 4 par 4s on the course. And Tomi currently with a 3-stroke lead. Evan out in front in terms of grabbing the last podium spot over Japi at the moment.
Oh, that was so close. So deep?
Just deep.
Just a standstill.
Perfect. Perfect fish.
You see the varying levels of height. You know, Japi's being the lowest. Scott going as high as you could possibly go to try and get up and over everything. We'll see how they all pan out here. Tomi to putt first. And just too much distance for Japi off the tee. Evan pretty much parked. He's going to put in for the birdie. A little more cushion between him and Japi. He's got 4 on him. And just too firm. That's the second time we've seen Tomi with a birdie look that he walks away with bogey then. And it's got to shake your confidence. And this looks to be a 2-stroke swing if Scott converts, and he does. So what was a 3-stroke advantage for Tomi is down to 1. Another short one, just 200 feet. Well, 400 feet if you're taking Scott's route.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
So the first course in Cambodia has a lot of different shot options, including a number of blind holes. We've got par 4s. We've got really short par 3s. They've got bungalows on site, so people can stay right here. Also then basically a kitchen where food can be made and prepared for the guests at very, very reasonable prices.
Ready?
Pretty much everything you need.
Are we good?
Yep.
Scott confirming if I'm good, because he can barely see the basket, and I couldn't see him. Oh, we're going to see a turbo.
But for you, it would be playable.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Is like I might have to play that live. But
Tap in birdie for Japi.
I think it's just the spirit of playing in Cambodia. It's a different.
Which one is mine?
Pro tip.
Touch the wrong one, it's a penalty. Probably the long one.
Pro tip. I saw some people learn this the hard way more than a decade ago. Put some initials or some identifying mark on the top of your disc as well. Sometimes two people with similar putters, both near the basket, and you walk up and you're like, oh, that kind of looks like my putter. Yeah, put something on the top as well as the bottom. And Japi would go on to struggle with that one. He would actually 3-putt after a very aggressive second shot. And I'm telling you the outcomes here because in my sickness, I managed to do what's called double punching. And I kind of screwed up the next 4 or 5 shots after this. So no one to blame but me and my sickness. Scott was parked. He goes on to birdie. Evan makes that putt. He picks up the birdie. And Tommy, with the overhand, when that sits down, he'd pick up the birdie. So 3 birdies and a bogey by Japi. Who needs to see the putts? We're going to go right to the green of the next hole after we watched all 4 players drive. Here we are on the green. I told you, it was a really rough couple of days. So Japi bounces back with the birdie after bogeying the previous one. Tommy still has the 1-stroke lead. And they match, birdie for birdie, Tommy and Scott. I wish the heat and humidity somehow could come through the screen and give you guys an idea. I was baking out there. It was very warm. It's what you expect. Don't get me wrong, I'm not surprised, but it was a little bit toasty out there. I guess that could be said of the previous 2 weekends as well, being over in Chiang Mai as well as being in Koh Samui. These guys are scared of the backdrop. Well, just a little livestock in the background. Higher and wider. Oh, I like that. It's easy to come up short because the one mistake you can't make is to go deep, bury yourself into the bushes directly behind the pin. That is, dare I say, all too obvious. That's the mistake you cannot make. You'd rather be 30 short than 5 deep, like I think we may be seeing by Evan here. Evan on the right side of your screen, just trying to punch out maybe something of a look. Tickle some chains, so he at least had some look at it. Time a crazy air ball to see there by Tommy. Stokely ties it up. They both get to 25 under. I believe it's Evans' first bogey of the round. Come on, Japi. Let's get it together, man. Tommy goes a few feet deep, hopefully not too much to contend with. All right, he'll tap in and walk away with a par. So him and Scott tied up at the top at 25. Thank you to the Mulligan Hooligans. Appreciate the support. Like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube things that I always beg of you guys. If you're a channel member, you probably get early access to this and to many other videos as soon as I get them posted. You show up with a little recognition every time you make a comment or a remark as well. And you get additional love and good vibes from me every single time we come to the page. Fade back to the pin. All right, that's a look. It's a look. Hope you guys are liking that all of the entire round is in a single video. Now, it helps when I miss a few shots. I know that shortened things up, but I think we're looking at only about 50 minutes or so for the entire round. And managed to keep all the other Asia events under an hour for the entire round. So hope that you guys like that format. I've been playing with it a little bit more lately rather than doing front and backs. There's a bounce back for Evan. Good birdie. Stokely. Solid putt as well. He's going to get to 26. Tomi to match. I think he's swearing at me. I don't know what he's saying there. Those rowdy Finns. Big thanks to Petri and the crew over at Less Gravity. Make sure you check them out. There's a link in the description to head over and find them on Spotify. So graciously supporting the coverage here of all of my Southeast Asia swing. 2 holes left to play. Stokely now with a 1-stroke advantage. Remember, he was down 3 at the turn. Pretty simple hole. Very straightforward. Just go out there and get it.
Oh.
Just a huge shout out to everyone involved in the Cambodian disc golf scene. There are at least a handful of people that I know passionately talk about it, promote it, advertise, always talking it up, and appreciate everyone that has any part of this growing and budding scene. I'm looking forward to finding myself back in Cambodia. Last time Scott was here, he left a champion. He was here in 2023. He wasn't here for the 24 version, but he was here in 23 where he took down the event. Tomi, I believe, was runner-up to him. Right now, Scott has a 1-stroke advantage going into the final hole, which is a reachable par 4 hole 18. I believe it's about 450 feet or so. So it is drivable. Eagle in play. You got to think birdie is a given. Can Stokely lock it away with an eagle?
Hit the fence.
Oh, and he hits the fence, so that's going to be short. Long bid, probably 50 or 60 feet maybe. Tomi. Puts it way out there. He'll be on the dance floor with a chance at eagle. Are we going to see the playoff? Can Stokely lock it away? What's going to happen? Evan right now holding on to that number 3 spot, trying to finish on the podium.
Yep, good job. That's sick, Evan.
Thanks.
Really,
Big drive. Scott is short. He's got to putt over the fence. We got a little gallery as well. An eagle seals the win. He has the power, but it's not on line. Drop in birdie, but that might not be enough. We're seeing Japi with his eagle bid. Not quite there. Evan now for eagle. Just to the left is where you see Tommy, who's going to be closest to the pin. And Tommy's going to have a chance to take this to a playoff. He needs the eagle to get to 28 under. The gallery watches on. Again, the event presented by 7 Deadly Bananas. You see the banner in the background. Huge thanks to Danny Diaz and the contributions. Also, again, Jacob Neff, our fearless TD, as that's in for birdie. And he had the lead, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough, as Evan will finish third and on the podium. Scott Stokely to become the 2-time champion here in Cambodia, and he's done it. He outlasts Tommy, fights back, birdies almost all of the back 9 to do it, and Scott Stokely, your champ. Thank you, everyone. Leave me a comment, like, share, subscribe. I catch up with our champion, Scott Stokely. I'm the Disc Golf Guy, and that was my video blog. Another country for myself being Cambodia, but someone who's been here before. He left a winner, and this year he's a winner again. Scott Stokely. Scott, congrats.
thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
A good battle out there. Down, what, 3 or 4 or 5 with 6 to go?
Down 3 with 6 to go, and then I birdied out. Tomi had an unfortunate spit out. Well, unfortunate for him. And I don't know, I finished strong, and Tomi's great, man. Tomi's so good. So
We've seen not only the battle, but then also some very creative landscaping, along with lots of extra animals and other things. Talk about how unique of a place this is to play disc golf at.
yeah, so the thing that makes it special out here in Cambodia is that it's Cambodian disc golf. The course is filled with wildlife, like chickens and dogs and cows and water buffaloes. But the most, the coolest wildlife, and I only say this because they're so wild, is the children. This course is located on most of their property. So there are 50 or 70 kids out here, little Cambodian kids that all play disc golf, and they run around the course, they find your disc, they climb trees, sometimes barefoot, to get your disc out for you, and I've never seen them not smiling. Yeah, it's a special place, man. Check out Cambodia, Khmer Disc Golf Resort. It's amazing.
And speaking of a special place, you've spent quite a bit of time a few years ago and now also this year in this general region of the world. What's the bigger plan?
The bigger plan is I'd like to spend as many winters as I can out here. It's not an exaggeration. It is so affordable. $15 hotel room, a $2 meal, a $1, taxi ride. Like that's real. That's not something you see on some corner, like restaurant on some vlog. It's like, that's just life out here. So you can afford to live out here affordably. By the way, if you're thinking about trying to find a place to live off your retirement, Southeast Asia is gold for that.
Certainly as well. Scott, any parting shots for the rest of the world as I'm concluding my Southeast Asia tour with this event, but any parting shots for the world from you?
Yeah, like step out of your comfort zone. The expense to get out here is the plane ticket and lost income from work. Those are real expenses. But after that, it's nominal, and you can do it, and you should put it on your bucket list and just have the experience. The one thing I'll tell you about Southeast Asia is it's safe. You really can't get into trouble here. You just go out and you go do the things you want to do, the restaurant, the activities, the nightlife, the day life, and nothing's going to happen to you. Like, it's like you can't really do it wrong. So it might seem kind of exotic, but it's safe and you'll be fine.
Certainly some of the safest and kindest people that you'll meet anywhere in the world.
Unbelievable.
Scott can attest to that anytime. Scott Stokely, a 2-time champion here in Cambodia. We'll see you guys at the next one.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Terry. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, buddy.
Appreciate that.